We're going to talk about two things that are interlinked, which is fibre and also bowel movements on the carnivore diet. So first off, get asked a lot about bowel movements on the carnivore diet. Can you still go to the toilet normally? Do you have issues with that? The answer is no. The reason people think that is because there's a myth that fibre is needed in your diet in order for you to be able to have proper bowel movements and go to the toilet. That's completely false. So on carnivore diet, your bowel movements are completely normal, and in fact they'll be much better and a much healthier kind of stool, which is a lovely subject, a lovely thing to have to say, than you normally would. So if you actually look, it's called the Bristol stool chart, which is very interesting if you really want to look it up, which basically shows you the different levels of stools and what's classed as healthy. If you're on a carnivore diet, you will be right in the middle, the healthiest type. They did some research on a number of people on a carnivore diet recently, and on average they went 1.2 times a day, so you've got no issues going. So the whole theory that fibre is necessary for proper digestion and proper bowel movements is completely and utterly false. It's just a myth. So this first came about from a British doctor called Dennis Burkitt, who he worked with patients in Africa, and then he also worked with patients in America, and he noticed that the patients in Africa did not have issues with their bowels, whereas the ones in America did, and he noticed that in Africa they were eating a higher fibre diet, and he put 2 and 2 together, made 5, and wrote a thesis on the fact that it was fibre that was giving them that benefit. But he didn't really take into account all of the other things around the diet causing the issues. And that is where the theory came from, and it's been mainstream ever since. However, in actual controlled trials and research, there's been absolute zero evidence that fibre gives any benefit to your intestinal health and bowel movements. Fibre is also not an essential nutrient. Some people will class it as that, but it's not. It's not essential to life. You can be very healthy without it. Now, for some people who are eating a really bad diet, fibre potentially could have a very slight benefit for them, because it does fill you up, makes you feel full, which would then reduce the amount of pure rubbish that they're eating. So it could have a slight benefit if you're eating a terrible diet, but if you're eating a healthy diet, you have no need for fibre in there at all. And in fact, ironically, people say to take fibre if you're constipated to help your bowel movement. It can actually have the opposite effect. Some of the side effects of fibre are constipation. It can go the other way, diarrhea, you have bloating, IBS symptoms, cramps. And in many research, it was found that actually lowering or reducing fibre altogether actually had a very good effect on dealing with constipation. So overall, you don't need any fibre in your diet. There's never been any controlled research or experiment that has shown any benefits of it to you. You don't need it. You can ignore that myth. And on a carnivore diet, you do not need to worry about going to the toilet.